Well, the country will begin talks for a potential COVID-19 supply deal with American pharmaceutical company Moderna this month. Foreign Affairs Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin told the source vaccine czar Carlito Galvez will meet Moderna executives on December 30th. As for the foiled deal with Pfizer, Locsin says he's getting help from U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
I suggest a small amount. I mean, at least try to get back what we lost, which Pfizer sent to Singapore instead because we were slow. And he said, let me call. And you're gonna need to talk to Babes because he may have gotten actually much more than I thought I could. I'm not here to guess. We'll get what we can, and also we'll get what we are prepared to receive.
Let's get the details now straight from the country's ambassador to the United States, Babe Romualdez, joining us tonight from Washington, D.C. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us. You heard Secretary Locsin. The ball is now on your court to tell us the details. Let's discuss first Pfizer. How many doses will the country secure after the drop ball?
Thank you, Rico. Well, Secretary Locsin, you know how he is. I work very well with Secretary Locsin, and as a matter of fact, his call to Secretary Pompeo the first time was very helpful, of course, in getting us on the front line, so to speak, in getting the vaccines that will be available here, which is Pfizer. Well, right now, actually, Secretary Galvez is already in conversation with the Pfizer people in Manila. And I think from what I'm told by him, I talked to Secretary Galvez the other day, and he is already discussing with them on what kind of numbers we're talking about and when we can get it. No?
Could it be a fraction? Is there any number, Ambassador, at this point? Because we were supposed to get 10 million doses by January, but Secretary Locsin said we could still get a fraction. Is there any number that could be secured by next year?
Well, no, I think that will have to come from Secretary Galvez because, you know, he is talking to a number of other pharmaceutical companies that are developing or have developed this. Now, Moderna is one of them. And I think Moderna is already at that stage where they will make an agreement. But all that is now in Secretary Galvez's court, okay? Since we're using the word ball. It's with him, and he will be the one who will announce the number of vaccines that we will be getting and when we will be getting it. He has been designated by the president to be the sole vaccine procurement person, plus his group, of course, and they will be the one to announce this. I'm told as early as first week of January, they'll know exactly how many vaccines we will be getting and when we will be getting it.
All right. If we did get this Pfizer doses in January, would we have had the logistics? Would we have had the freezers to be able to keep these 10 million doses here in the country? Because Pfizer has to be stored in a negative 70-degree setting.
Well, that's a very good point, Rico. And as a matter of fact, that in hindsight, that's exactly what it is. In a way, it is just as well that we were not able to get this because we were not ready to receive them anyway. It takes a lot of logistical work to do all of this. And I'm told that Swaylig, for instance, it's a big distributor of medicines in the Philippines and in the region, is probably going to take the lead in this, but like I said, it's a whole process, and it takes time to prepare for everything. And even if we were able to close that deal, it would probably be very difficult for us to bring all of them. So you're right. I guess it's better that the deal didn't push through, and we've got one particular vaccine, which is Moderna, which does not require that kind of refrigeration.
So, Ambassador, let's listen now to President Duterte during his State of the Nation address on China providing us with a vaccine.
I made a plea to President Xi Jinping that if they have the vaccine, can they allow us to be one of the first? Or if it's needed, if we have to buy it, that we will be granted credit so that we can normalize as fast as possible.
And Ambassador, Secretary Locsin confirmed in the source interview with Pinky Webb earlier that Secretary Duque and Galvez dropped the ball on the Pfizer deal in July. Is this because of President Duterte's insistence that we rely on a China vaccine?
No, I don't think so. You know, the vaccine is one of the most sought after commodity, obviously, now. And President Duterte has a very good relationship with President Xi, and of course, they were developing a vaccine. So that relationship, of course, can translate into something like what we're trying to do here in the United States. Secretary Locsin has a good relationship with Secretary Pompeo, so we asked that we be given that kind of chance to buy these vaccines. All these relationships are what makes us, in a way, be able to get all of these vaccines that we need. So there's really, people are putting too much meaning into all of these things that we're preferring to have one or the other. We need 60 million. Or we need to immunize 60 million people in our country. And there's not enough vaccines that are available right away. So the more we talk to pharmaceutical companies that are anyway safe and effective, that would be the best.
But from your sense, Ambassador, could we get a vaccine from a Western pharmaceutical company before the AstraZeneca vaccine arrives in May or June of next year?
I think it will be almost all at the same time. We most likely, once we sign up for these vaccines, we will try to get them as early as possible. But the time frame of middle of next year is really the more realistic time frame now, considering the fact that to produce these vaccines takes some time. But I know for a fact that all of these companies that are developing or have developed this, like Moderna and Pfizer, they're bumping up their production because of the demand for it. So we're hoping that they'll be able to produce more than what they plan to, assuming now that their production is really in full gear.
Thank you so much for joining us on The Final Word. The Philippine Ambassador to the United States, Babe Romualdez, joining us from Washington, D.C.